Hello everybody and welcome to another Oscar prediction video where today I will be taking a look at the category of Best Actress in a Leading Role. Now, of the four acting categories, this one is easily the hardest one to predict. I think the other three all have pretty definitive winners, but this one is tricky. I do think there is a frontrunner, but it's a frontrunner who's on shaky ice and there is definitely room for an upset. I think there is an argument to be made that all five women here do make a case for themselves. So, with that out of the way, let's just dive right into this. Fifth most likely to win is Nicole Kidman for Being the Ricardos. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Really? You're putting Nicole Kidman at number 5 after she won the Golden Globe? Yeah, I know that she won the Golden Globe, and that was really shocking when it happened, and it made a lot of people think, oh, I guess she's winning the Oscar now. But there's a couple of reasons why I don't think she's winning. First of all, when we initially thought she was the frontrunner, there was a lot of negative feedback. And I think we saw that when she didn't even win SAG. She didn't win at her own guild, where we thought surely she'd have the best chance. And then Being the Ricardos, while it did get a lot of respected nominations for all three of its actors, justice for Nina Arianda, it was not nominated for picture and not nominated for screenplay. And the screenplay miss is really significant. We thought it would do better, it's Aaron Sorkin, but it didn't. And that tells me that the movie does not have a lot of love within the Academy. Granted, as we're seeing with some other movies, opinions can shift between nominations and wins. But I think, if anything, the reception for this movie has just gone down. I think a lot of people expected it to be a complete disaster when it premiered and were surprised by how they actually kind of enjoyed it. And so they sort of overhyped it because of that. Now that the majority of people have seen it, I think most people agree it's not a great movie, and Nicole Kidman does not need to win her second Oscar for it. She already has one, and she's definitely has an impressive resume that she could easily get another one in the future, but I don't think it's going to be for this film. There's nothing terribly special that she does in the movie, with the exception of the brief sequences where she's playing the character of Lucy Ricardo, but most of her Lucille Ball is very much the same Nicole Kidman performance we usually see from her. She's not really pushing herself in any meaningful way, and for a lot of diehard fans of Lucille Ball, she doesn't truly become her. So, for that reason, I fail to see Nicole Kidman winning for this performance. I get that she won the Globe, but I feel like that was just a Globe popularity thing. And I just feel like people have soured on the performance and on the movie as a whole. If she does win, it'll be more for the popularity of the AMC ad than it is for this movie. Fourth most likely to win is Penelope Cruz for Parallel Mothers. So this nomination was one of the biggest surprises of the nomination morning, because Penelope Cruz, she was definitely being talked about in the background as a contender, but I don't know too many people who were actively predicting her, because she wasn't nominated for Globe, Critics' Choice, SAG, or BAFTA. And it's pretty rare for someone to miss all four of those major precursors and still get the Oscar nomination. Plus, her movie was not even submitted by Spain as their submission for international feature, which a lot of people said, oh, they'll write that off. People don't have reason to watch the movie. I'm glad that people did end up watching this movie, because I saw the movie and she's very good in it, and I think this is a worthy Oscar nomination from her. It's funny how Penelope Cruz is someone we kind of take for granted. She hasn't been nominated since 2009, but she's still doing really great work. I was really impressed by her in Parallel Mothers a few years ago. Not Parallel Mothers, the other Almodovar one, Pain and Glory. She had a supporting role in that she was great in, and she's also great in Parallel Mothers. So she really does shine, particularly when working with Almodovar. He knows the best way to play to her strengths as an actress. And so people are actually talking about her as a potential upset because the category seems to be spread pretty thin right now, and she does have a lot of support. Plus, the fact that she hasn't been nominated anywhere, people are saying could work in her favor because she hasn't lost anywhere. And she hasn't lost any of these major contenders. They haven't had the chance to fight against her. So I really do think that Cruz... the fact that the movie also got an original score nomination means it's in the hunt. And then if enough people actually watched it, I could see a world where she shocks everybody and walks away with a Best Actress Oscar. But I don't know how many people are going to go out of their way to watch the movie. And a lot of the performance, while it is very effective, is more quiet and not as flashy as some of the other contenders. So I'm not entirely ruling it out that Cruz could win, but the fact that she already has an Academy Award and the fact that her movie is in a foreign language and not up for international feature and maybe a bit underseen, for that reason, I find it very unlikely that Cruz is going to end up winning the Oscar. Third most likely to win is Olivia Colman for The Lost Daughter. So I find the trajectory of Olivia Colman's career kind of fascinating because she's been a well-respected British actress for some time now, and then she had the 1-2 punch of The Favourite, which she won an Oscar for, and The Crown, which suddenly made her a big name over in America. And now it seems like she's becoming the new Meryl Streep. Funnily enough, Meryl Streep has not been nominated since 2017, and in that time, Olivia Colman has gotten on 3 times for The Favourite, The Father, and The Lost Daughter. And I really love her. I love her as an actress, and I love her bubbliness, and I love a lot of the different things she brings to each character. And she is very good in this film, although the film was not my personal cup of tea. And a lot of people have said that while it's a good performance, it is in some respect kind of subdued, and it's complicated because we're not really sure how to feel about her character and the choices that she makes in this story. And in the lead acting categories, but actress in particular, not sympathizing with the character really, really hurts you. And so I can't imagine Colman is going to win. With that said, she has certainly surprised before. That's a fact. And people did like the movie, as evidenced by not just its nomination for screenplay, but also a surprise nomination for Jessie Buckley. So I think they really are getting the word out about the film, and I have seen a lot of voters call out Colman as the highlight. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I doubt it, because the film just, while it does have its fans, it's also turning a lot of people off, and the character is not being the most likable. I think those are big road hurdles. Now, that's not to say that she's not winning an Oscar anytime soon. I think she's so much in the zeitgeist. I think the Oscars are getting ready really quickly to award her a second time. And it's probably going to happen sooner than we think, but not for this film. Second most likely to win is Kristen Stewart in Spencer. Oh boy, what an interesting track record Kristen Stewart has had. So, there was a time where this movie came out and everybody immediately said, Best Actress is over. It's done. Kristen Stewart is winning the Oscar. Accept it. And for a while it seemed like that was going to happen. Then when the movie came out, people were a little bit unsure about how well the movie overall was going to do. Initially saying that it was going to do really, really good and get in everywhere. But then that slowly began trickling out once we got to the Critics Awards, and then the televised awards. They got less and less nominations. But Kristen Stewart still showed up pretty regularly, and she was winning a bunch of Critics Awards. So there was definitely a feeling that the movie was vulnerable, but also people were like, well, if Kristen Stewart doesn't win Best Actress, then who could? Because no one else is really that far up. And then we got the double whammy of Nicole Kidman winning the Globe and then Kristen Stewart not getting nominated for SAG, which shocked pretty much everybody. And eventually we were like, well, she's not winning the Oscar. She may not even get nominated. And that happened again with BAFTA, although, spoiler alert, nobody who was nominated at BAFTA got nominated at the Oscar. And people were very, very quickly writing off Kristen Stewart as probably not even going to get nominated. I didn't even predict her to get nominated, but she got on. She got on, and at this point, she has not won anything major. I mean, outside of the many, many critics awards, but her lack of winnings of the 4 televised awards, one of which went to Nicole Kidman, one of which went to somebody who's not contending at all, Joanna Scanlon after Love, I'm sorry, and then the other 2 went to the person I'll be talking about in a minute. But Kristen Stewart is very, very strong. I think she's a very strong contender, even if she got in by the skin of her teeth, even if the movie didn't get in anywhere else. Let's not forget, there is a difference between the love that a film is shown in the nomination stage and the love that a film is shown in the winning stage. I think we're seeing that play out right now with the Best Picture category. And so Kristen Stewart, even though her film is not up for anything else and is so divisive, people are still talking about her performance. And there is this general feeling of, oh my god, this girl that we all wrote off as an actress because of the Twilight movies has been steadily working so hard in all these indies, and now she's given this terrific, transformative performance. And even people who aren't too hot on the movie overall do have to admit that Stewart does a wonderful job. And she has been out there campaigning for it. But I was really close to predicting her. I just needed to see her win something major, outside of the many, many Critics Awards. But Critics Awards don't always line up with the Guild Awards. And I think we're seeing in lead actor they're going to Benedict Cumberbatch, all of them, and supporting actor they're going to Cody Smith-McPhee, and I don't think either of them are going to win the Oscar. Because it's not about the Critics Awards, it's about the televised awards. Those are the awards that really get you momentum and shape the narrative. And Kristen Stewart, she definitely is going to be back, I think. She's made it now. She's officially an Academy Award nominee, and I think she's definitely got a lot left in the tank. She's relatively young. But I don't think that it's going to be for this movie. I think it's really close. I think she could contend. But the fact that the movie didn't get in anywhere else and that she started off as this easy frontrunner and then barely got nominated, possibly. I think she is the number 2, but I don't think she's winning the Oscar. I think the person who is winning the Oscar is Jessica Chastain in the eyes of Tammy Faye. Oh boy, Jessica Chastain. And I don't say that in a bad way, because I do really like her and I like this performance. It's just interesting how this is the race we have. Jessica Chastain obviously started out in a big way in 2011 with The Help and The Help was first, and then the same year was Tree of Life and Take Shelter and a bunch of others. And she was this big actress, and then the very next year she gets on for Zero Dark 30, and now she's got 2 nominations back-to-back for wildly different roles, and it seems like there's nothing she can't do. However, she takes a little bit of an interesting direction with her career, where most of her follow-up roles are her trying to do what she did in Zero Dark 30 and play to that type. And she came close to nominations a couple times with A Most Violent Year and Molly's Game, but this is her first time being back in a while, and she's, in a sense, going back to the kind of performance she did in The Help, but bigger and broader. Not bad, but this trying to play this character of Tammy Faye in a very over-the-top but also human way. I'd compare her performance to the likes of James Franco in The Disaster Artist, where they're both playing real people who are very heavily exaggerated often, and they're trying to find a balance between the exaggerated humor of it all and also the actual human being inside. So I do get the support for this win. And I saw the film early on and I thought, ooh, this does kind of seem like a winning performance. The fact that the movie itself has largely faded from my memory outside of her performance does hurt. But she won SAG, which was big. We were all sort of wondering what was going to win SAG, because is it going to be just Nicole Kidman all the way through? But no, it wasn't. It was her. And then after that, she won Critics' Choice. But the thing is, I'm skeptical a little bit, because Critics' Choice, they have a tendency to just go with the Oscar frontrunner. And I have a sense that if Critics' Choice had been held first, they would probably have gone with Kristen Stewart because she was winning all the Critics Awards. And if the Critics' Choice Awards had happened right after the Golden Globes, then they probably would have gone with Kidman because they think she's the new frontrunner. Maybe there's a point in time where they would have gone with Gaga, where it looked like she might be the frontrunner. But now they gave it to Chastain, and okay, I understand that they want to predict the Oscars, but they're sort of letting that take over their genuine feelings a little bit. And I wish they could just go back to having it a little bit earlier in the show so they're not so much trying to copy everyone else's homework. I will say, though, this is a very good performance, and while I would personally prefer Kristen Stewart, I won't call this an undeserving win. And I do think it's probably going to happen. I think the performance is very showy. Even if the film itself is not that notable outside of her, the fact that it's probably going to win makeup, I think really helps it. And I don't know, this race was so crazy for so long, and now it looks like we're kind of just settling on Chastain, and that feels bad. But she is, like, really going out there and campaigning for this. And she is really making sure people remember her performance. Like, she really wants it. And I kind of want it for her, if for no other reason so that Grace Randolph could get really upset about it. I think this is a very strong performance from Chastain, and while I'm personally rooting for Kristen Stewart, and I would love it so much if she were to pull off an upset, Isaac Tammy Faye just feels like a more sensible, standard Oscar pick. Plus, the other three that aren't Stewart and Chastain already have Oscar. So I think there's more incentive to give it to someone who hasn't. And Stewart, because she's so young, and this is her first nomination, there's a sense that she could be back and that they don't have to give it to her right away. This is almost a welcome to the club nomination. But Jessica Chastain has been in the industry for a while. She's been nominated a couple times before. Some say she should have won for Zero Dark 30 or The Help. This does feel like, okay, Jessica Chastain, this is your moment. We'll give it to you. So, for all of those reasons, I am predicting Jessica Chastain to win the Oscar. Thank you very much for watching, and tune in next time. I don't know what category I'll be talking about, but hopefully it'll be a good video. Thank you guys. See ya.